Moonshot AI has released Kimi K3, the best open source open weight model on the planet. This feels similar to when DeepSeek dropped their model and changed the whole conversation in AI. This is a Chinese lab, and now their model is sitting in the same league as ChatGPT-5 or Claude Fable. That is not normal. Let me show you why this one is different. Before we go into the details that how this model will impact, let me first give you details to understand this model. Kimi K3 is the biggest open source model ever released. It has 2 trillion parameters. Like other frontier models, it has a 1 million context window. Like GPT and Claude, it is built for deep reasoning, long horizon coding, and knowledge work. The just shortly released open model called Inkling by Thinking Machine had 975 billion parameters. When we compare it with Kimi 3 has nearly 3 times more parameters. Having more parameters does not necessarily make a model intelligent, but in this case, the benchmarks for Kimi K3 are pointing that it has also real intelligence. I will explain one thing quickly why this model is so efficient. It is using something called mixture of experts. Think of it like a hospital with 896 specialists. And if you come into this hospital with some problem, then you are just sent to 16 specific specialists related to your problem instead of going to everyone. So same is the case with a model. When you want to complete some task with the model, it does not send your question to all the 3 trillion parameters, but it just activates the right specialist network. And the result is that you get the massive amount of intelligence without costing much compute to run. The models are basically ranked on different benchmarks. In case of Kimi K3, everyone is talking about the Arena AI front-end development benchmark. So there, Kimi K3 is the front runner. It means that for front-end web development, this is the best model on the planet, even better than Fable 5 and GPT 5.6. On another benchmark, AA-Briefcase, it stands on number 2 overall after Fable 5 and even before GPT 5.6. About these benchmarks, I will say that we need to look all of these benchmarks with a pinch of salt because the companies are always claiming different things and different benchmarks are comparing different criterias. Nevertheless, Kimi K3 is playing in the same league of top frontier models in different benchmarks. Like every other model, Kimi K3 has an online chat interface. You can run it on command line, and there is also an official plugin for VS Code. As a developer, it becomes interesting for me when it comes to the price. For Kimi K3, the price is $3 per million input tokens and $15 per million output tokens. For comparison, if we compare it with Fable, then Fable is 3 times expensive and GPT-5 is twice expensive. But the issue is that the token price does not make doing a task cheap. It depends on how much tokens you require to achieve the same result. So according to one of the benchmark, you might need nearly twice the token as compared to GPT 5.6. So Kimi K3 is in terms of price nearly equivalent to GPT 5.6. At the moment, we can also not rule out the fact that it is not at par with GPT 5.6. It is important to note that Kimi K3 is a Chinese model and open source. Both of these aspects are important. I think the US government recent restrictions on delaying the release of Fable and GPT 5.6 is providing the Chinese AI labs to catch up with their counterparts in US. And if it continues like this, then the US models will lose the competitive advantage which they have, as they are at the moment the front runner. Secondly, this is an open source model, but before the release of this model, the open source models were considered to be 8 to 10 months behind the frontier models. But this model is the first open source model which is being seriously compared with the frontier models. The benefit of open source model is that from a consumer perspective, it will make the AI usage cheap. For most of the people and for our daily routine tasks, we do not always need the frontier models. They can be easily done with open source models. So considering this, I think that if in 8 to 10 months we reach the same level as we have of today in GPT 5.6 or in Fable, then most of the people will be able to use much cheaper models or will require to pay much cheaper what they are paying today. Let us see how this Kimi K3 and this open source scene further develops. If you are new to AI coding, I have made a video about top 3 mistakes which people make that cause their apps to crash. You can check that out. The link is in the description. And if you find this video useful, please subscribe the channel. It really does help.